guys, Remain a Math Person. Today I'll be going over question 158 on SOA Exam P. So pause video quick and try this problem yourself. Okay, assuming you attempted it, let's just dive right in. So I'm actually going to approach this problem two different ways and just pick whatever you feel makes the most sense to you. So number one is using the Darth Vader rule. So Darth Vader rule basically says that the expectation of x is the integration of the survival function of x, dx. So the survival function, what is that going to look like? Well, that is what's surviving. So it's basically just 1 minus the f of x. So we can just say the probability in the negative side is just 0, because again, if f of x is 0, I think it's going to be safe to say that the probability is also 0. So the survival function of x is, let's say this is like 1, so it would just be 1 minus f of x is equal to survival function. So 1 minus 0.5, so that's 0.5 here. At 1, that's also 0.5. At 2, it's also 1 minus 0.5, right? At 3, it will be 1 minus 1, which is 0. So it's going to start dipping down. And we're just taking the integral of this survival function here. If we know the definition of integral, that's just the area under the curve. So the area under the curve here is going to be from 2 to 0.5, so that's just 2 to 0.5 is a rectangle. And from 2 to 3 is a triangle, so that's 1 times base times height divided by 2, so that's 0.5 times 0.5. So then this is equal to 1.25. Method 2 is using the fact that they give you the cumulative distribution function, and we know that the expectation of x is just equal to x times the probability of x. And the probability of x is just the derivative of the cumulative distribution function. So same idea here. When x is negative, it's a constant at 0, so we can just assume the probability is 0 when it's negative. From 0 to 1, at 0 there's a big jump here, so this part we'll get back to it. 0 to 2 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not drawn to scale. 0 to 2 is a constant, so we know the probability, if you take a derivative of any constant, it's going to be 0. So this is going to be 0 here, 0. And same thing, after 3, it's going to be a constant here as well. So this is 3. We know this from 2 to 3, it is a line with a slope of up 0.5 over 1, so 0.5x plus some intercept. When we take the derivative, the constant is just 0, so you get 0.5. So from 2 to 3, you're going to get 0.5. And so the only part that we haven't really touched base on is at 0. And at 0, there is actually a big jump. So at 0, the value is 0.5. Because 1, we know all probability has to add up to 0.5. And if it's 0 everywhere else, then we know at 0, when x is equal to 0, the probability has to be 0.5. Number 2, from 0 to 0.5 here, there was a 0.5 of a growth, so that's not a good way to think about this problem. So either way, the expectation of x, again, is equal to x times the probability of x. So at x, the value of 0, when x is equal to 0, the probability is 0.5. When values between 2 and 3, and because we know this is a uniform distribution, we can just take the average. So 3 plus 2 over 2 times 0.5. This is equal to 1.25 as well. So our answer is D. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Otherwise, as always, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Bye!